Hi everybody, welcome to another edition of Monkey Island Madness. Today we're going to work on lettering because these tricker-heading freaks know a soft touch when they see one, I guess. So here I am, barely awake. I need to mainline coffee, but that's what we're going to do. We're just going to probably do some basic strokes and learn some curves. Don't you hey me. And if you're watching this on recording, I am talking to a live audience. And I have one consistently unruly freak in chat. So like I said yesterday, I'm going to do all my practice on graph paper. And I did this with calligraphy too, because you've got your baseline and your vertical already shown, so you can see your angles and stuff a little bit easier, I think. It works for me, so that's why we're doing it. Okay, so you're not freaks. In my mind, you are. Yeah, one of the girls in chat just asked Eileen, who lives in Florida, about the frozen geckos. It's so cold in Florida that the geckos are freezing and falling out of trees, which it sounds so sad, but there's something kind of funny about it too. Anyway, I showed this the other day, so if you've watched the channel, I'm going to just do some of the exercises out of this hand lettering for relaxation. Dee Dee did post a link this morning for she's really young, actually. And I'd watched her videos before, brush lettering. And I don't have her name. I think it's something right pretty. Let me look. I can look real quick. Here it is. Yeah, it's Write Pretty Things. W-R-I-T-E, Pretty Things. And that is also her Twitter name and her YouTube name. So I definitely have been following her for a while. No, Eileen, it's not Eileen's fault. It's hashtag it's all Eileen's fault. So I've got different brushes here, different tips. I'm going to go ahead and try a little bit of each of them. Just because some of these I haven't used that much. I haven't had them that long. And some I had hidden from myself and just found them again. So I'm just going to start. And I'm using, I don't know which brush this is. It's a Kiritaki. And I don't know if it looks like the fine nib or brush. And I'm using the Prima Tropical watercolors. So I'll just start out. I'm going to have to move the book out of the way here in a minute, but yesterday, oh, today's National Bean Day. I know that was funny, and Jeannie said, don't let me hear, I'll ban the beans. That's probably true. No, I actually like beans, so beans are good. All right. And this might be harder than I think. You push down on the downstroke, and you want your curves to be consistent, right? You don't want a point on them. So, and I'm going to do a row of these with each of the brushes to see if there's one I like better. I've always liked this Kiritaki brush, that I will say. I've not used the Jane Davenport brushes very much. I'm not even sure why I bought them, frankly, because I didn't need them. And then I also have a bunch of brushes from the Wish app. I'm not crazy about them, and I'll show you why. I have one right here. But, oh, I shouldn't show this one because I've given it a haircut, I think. See how long that brush is? Can you see that? I mean, that thing is long. This isn't the one I gave a haircut to. I have given him haircuts, though. I guess I should write here. Which ones are which? Kiritaki. I'm going to call that fine. And this is the Wish App brush. And the only difference in the Wish App brushes, you guys, that I can tell, is the, and there might be several different kinds, I don't know, I haven't shot, but the brush, I can't think of what it is. Well, are you saying, oh, this is pointless? No, hell no, this is not pointless. If you want to get better, you have to do it. Yeah, those, that is long and fine, so let's see. And maybe for brush lettering, it will be preferable. I don't think so. I think you have less control, honestly, but you're going to get a really nice fine upstroke because the little hairs are so fine. But they're cheap, cheap, cheap. And the only other difference is what I was going to say is the barrel, the reservoir for water, is really small. So for a travel one, this is good because it's so small. But you can see that I'm not having as much control, I don't think. So if you have a bunch of different supplies, I guess what I would say is just use them and see what you like the best. If you want to do something like this. But my feeling is if Wish can sell this brush, and I think I got several for, I don't even know. But anyway, if they can sell it really cheap, these other companies should be able to sell it really cheap too. Yeah, I feel like I'm out of control with this brush. But I think it's just using it. But those I just bought kind of as an experiment. But I have not been in love with them, I will say that. Alright, next we're going to do the Jane Davenport. They also have pretty long bristles. Is that the word I want, bristles? And it looks like I have the fine and the bold. Maybe that's a medium, but yeah. We'll test them both anyway. We'll start with the fine. Yep, this is fine. And this one is bold, so I was right. And I'm going to have to get some water, but that's fine. Yeah, these brush bristles are very long on this one too. But I'm sure that's so that you can get the really, really fine. Oh my God, I can't use that. Now I've got too much water flowing. That's another thing, you know, maybe I should be using a pen because then I don't have to take into account the, you know, do I have too much water? Is it harder to control? You know, there's so many more variables with a brush. But I would like to get better with my brushes, so you can see I flooded the pan. Yeah, I don't like that one. Definitely don't like that one. That one might get a haircut. Just saying. So far my favorite is the Kiritaki. The one I really like is the one my granddaughter ruined. Gotta go get water in this one. I'm thinking probably, I'm going to get out some markers, Paula, and just see. You've got a lot of variables with the brushes for sure. And I think when you're starting, you're probably better off using a pen and eliminate those variables. That's my feeling. And this is great because I can't get the pen open. Well, that's crazy. Oh, I'll just use it with whatever I could suck up in there. Not very much, but I'm not going to use it long. Oh, let me, while I'm up, get a good pen. And I do have the brush pen too, but again, then you get right back into the variable things. So let me just grab one of these that I think will work well. Probably a Tombow. How about a Tombow? Yeah, let's just use this Tombow. And this brush is the Pentel. Doesn't say if it's fine. It looks to be about medium. And I don't know, do you guys have favorite water brushes? My favorite water brush is the Kiritake, no doubt. By the time you look, the book is heavy, but it's a nice book, isn't it, Eileen? It's an awesome book. I mean, even if, oh God, this is out of control. Even if you don't do the exercises or use it like it was intended, it's a nice eye candy book, for sure. Yeah, I think for dumbasses like me, this one's very hard to control too. So that's something I'm going to have to work on. And I think too, it's a little bit harder to concentrate when I'm streaming because I'm thinking about you guys, and I'm not blaming you, just saying. But the whole idea of, you know, heavy on the downstroke, light on the upstroke is the same regardless of the tool you're using. And this is a big old fat. This has got to be the bold Sakura water brush. This one I don't know that I've ever used. And these are all synthetic bristles, so, you know, who knows if a different brush would work different. I don't, you know, that's something I'll learn, I'm sure, in the future. All right, this one, I have to say, is a little easier to control. Don't ask me why that is. But I just feel like I have a little bit more control and my shapes are coming out better. But yeah, if you're going to learn brush lettering, this is kind of the deal you got to do. I saw it. I said in real life, this is not real life. What now? In real life. Oh, I know. I say that a lot. In real life, you know, like, this is not real life. I say that. I don't know why, Paula. I don't know why. All right. Let me get the brush out and see. This is just an old Tombow. The new ones, I'm pretty sure, do not look like this. I'm going to move this out of the way for the time being. Yeah, the brush, the pen is definitely easier. No doubt about it. And when you're doing I did watch the girl, and I should know her name, and I'm embarrassed that I didn't catch her name. She said when you're doing the curves like this, if you're starting at the bottom, at the baseline, and then going up, she calls it the waistline, start lifting your pen at about 1 o'clock. Only I did that totally backwards because your upstroke should be real light going down into your bold stroke. And if you end up with points, you've transitioned too soon. That one's probably the best one I've done. So, all right, if you're going to do this, use a pen. But I really want to use the brush. I really do, because I want to use all my watercolors. Yeah, I definitely have a ton more control. And you can see the curves, how they're working out is just better. So this is what you have to do to learn this. I suppose you could just jump right in and learn each letter, but I truly believe you'll have better luck in the long run if you train your brain to do the downstroke and the upstroke the right way. Otherwise, you're going to have to think about every letter every time. Watercolor the background and then use a pen. Geesh. Okay, I'll do that, Eileen. Hi, Dorothy. If you stare at all those U's, you'll go to sleep. Probably, because then the next thing she has you do is combine the two. So it's heavy on the downstroke, light, heavy, light, heavy. And you want these to be as consistent as you can get them. And maybe I should be doing it a little bit bigger. I don't know. Yeah, they're not very consistent, you know. Ideally, the amount of space in here should be the same, so that when you look at the negative space, it should look the same each time. I guess I could pull down a little bit. Let me fix this camera. It's a little wonky. And my pen is, my paper's at an angle. I can't write with it straight up and down. What the hell? Oh, static electricity is bad. So these are the exercises that have you doing. That's bad. Bad, bad, bad. But as your brain starts transitioning, you can kind of feel it happen. Where you're pushing down and letting up, and pushing down and letting up. That was bad. I will go out and buy some of those ribbon candies instead of doing this. There's something wrong with her. Alright, now I'll move on to, let's see, let me get the book out and show you what she says next. After you do the basic up and downs, which I need to do hours and hours of that, you guys, because it's nowhere near what it should be. This is what it should be looking like. This is what it's actually looking like. So you can tell I need a lot more practice. Let me go back and see. Yeah, because at first all she did was the downstrokes and the upstrokes. So before actually you start this curve stuff, she did pages of just the downstroke, and I'll do it up here. The downstroke, heavy pressure, and then light up pressure. And probably before I start writing, I would do a bunch of these. That one I goofed up bad. So that's how she kind of has you start. And then I don't know about the horizontal lines. What do they say about that? I guess you don't really, because they're always going to be in transition, I guess, as you're going from the heavy downstroke to the light ups, or the light upstroke to the heavy downstroke, which is what I've been doing here. Definitely easier with a pen, even though I want to use my brushes. Yeah, this is definitely better. And then I suppose you could do where you're changing the amount of space between them, you know, and really learning the control. I got a lot of work to do. Dee Dee, I think, just started in, just boom, she started doing letters. Hi, CB. All right, so now she started in with the letters. So U is the first letter she did. Heavy downstroke, light upstroke, heavy, and light. It's a little tricky for me to get that to pull up and do the light. That's pretty much what you gotta do. Hi, Joan. Yeah, I am too, Paula. I will get a notebook and date this, that this was, what, January, what is today? The 6th. And I'll just stick it in a notebook. And in a month or so, I'll pull it out and do a page of the same exercises and see how much I progress. But the thing is, you know, I'm going to have to really commit to doing it, you know, setting aside some time every day to do it. And I already have so many things that I've already decided I need to be spending time doing. And I mean, I've done this, I don't know, I've thought about doing it for a long time. The actual commitment has never happened. So it either happens now or it's not going to happen. But I have all the books. No, I really don't. I have a ton of calligraphy books. I have a ton of lettering books. But I don't have any brush lettering books. I've been looking at a bunch for a long time. But until this one, I have not committed to the book either. So I guess the other day when I bought the book is when I made the commitment. Well, and I was excited too to hear that Dee Dee, it was something Dee Dee wanted to learn. Because, yeah, I think that'll motivate me as well. So that's my U's. They're not great, but oh well. And then the next one she shows is N. I got that one too far away. All right, for whatever reason, the N feels better to me. Why is that? I guess I'm going to have to change my art on the couch supplies now and include some of this, because if I'm going to do the daily practice, that's probably more than likely where it's going to happen, even though your posture on the couch is so bad. But that's where I'll tend to do it, I'm sure. So those ends are better, I think. Well, for one, Jeannie, the tools are very different between brush lettering and calligraphy. With calligraphy, you're using hard nibs, and the construction of the letters in calligraphy is very, oh, what's the word? Depending on the alphabet you're doing, you construct the letters exactly the same. The actual behavior of making the downstroke and the upstroke isn't that much different, but for example, with I don't even know if I have a calligraphy pen inked up. With a calligraphy pen, if you're using a fountain pen, let's just say you're using a fountain pen. I don't know if I have. Yeah, I don't think I do. I'll just use this one if it's willing to write. It's not a calligraphy pen. It's a fountain pen, but okay. With a calligraphy pen, you've got the flat nib, right? Just checking here. Maybe I do have one. No, I don't. But with a calligraphy pen, you're using the hard nib, so it's not going to give at all. The amount of pressure you have to put on your pen does not alter. It's where you position your nib on the paper that will give you the angles. So, for example, you always, for each alphabet, they have a angle that they want you to hold your pen at, meaning the nib. So, if you draw a cross like this, and they want you to hold your pen at a 45-degree angle, your lines going down and your lines going across are the same. So that's how you would hold your pen angle, right, at a 45-degree angle. All right, and then when you start making letters, you never change the position of that nib on the paper. I might have to ink up a calligraphy pen to show you, or I guess I could get out a dip pen. But yeah, it's the angle that you hold your pen at. Where brush lettering, I think I heard that you hold your pen so that the point of your brush is pointing about 10 o'clock, and then it's the amount of pressure that you put down on the brush itself. If you're pressing hard, you're going to get a thicker line, and the harder you push, the thicker your line gets. So you push hard on the downstroke, and then you have to ease up on your upstroke to get a different appearance from the brush itself. That is very different than calligraphy. And with calligraphy, you have, oh my God, untold amounts of alphabets that you can learn. You can learn Gothic. You can learn, oh my gosh, if I brought out a calligraphy book, well, I will. I'll bring out the calligraphy Bible. Brush lettering, the letter construction is always going to be the same. Always. I mean, you're going to have your own style, I'm sure. And that's the difference in brush lettering, is you kind of are going to develop your own style. Where with calligraphy, there are very definite strokes that you make to get your thick and thins where you want them, if that makes sense. My favorite alphabet for calligraphy is the real basic. I think they call it Roman. But I like Unicode too, and let's see. But this is just, look at how many alphabets there are for calligraphy. And you have to learn the construction of each. Can you see that? I mean, there's just like so many. Like you could, I suppose you could do that with a brush. You could learn that with a brush, but OMG. That's going to be some intensive learning, right? It's intensive to learn the calligraphy alphabets as well. And it's just practice, 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 making your pen do what you want it to do. And then you have all the different nibs where you can do it fine, medium, bold, whatever. But yeah, there's like, look at all these different alphabets. Brush lettering, you're not going to have that. So, but this is a great little book if you're doing calligraphy, the Calligrapher's Bible, that has all the different alphabets and how to construct them. And they'll tell you, you know, what supplies you need, the basic structures, stuff like that. And for this particular angle alphabet, you hold your pen at a 25-degree angle. So, yeah, that's the difference. It's going to, in my opinion, after I get the hang of brush lettering, it's going to be a lot easier. Your nib is never going to be on a piece of paper. So you're not going to learn this, I take it, Eileen. You've already given up. You haven't even tried, and you're already giving up. You quitter. Quitter. Maybe you never started. All right, and then the M is next. So everybody's going to have their own style for sure. Mine is probably not going to look like Dee Dee's. Well, I know it won't, because hers will be like over the top perfect. But it's not taking too long. If I'm really, really paying attention, it's not taking too long to kind of get the hang of it. But I also have the advantage of having done calligraphy for years and years and years. So, Smacker Janet. Was that a typo for weird? I'd hate to think what would happen if she was sitting in my house with me. It could be ugly. One thing I'm very happy about is I'm going to be using some of these supplies that I've been hoarding forever And thank God a lot of these pens were either resurrected or didn't need resurrection. But they're going to get used again. I used to use these just to color stamps, right? And some people would jump right into the letters. I really think the training your brain, how it feels, is valuable. I really do. And I learned that from calligraphy. Just do your time. Just make yourself learn it. And if you do it step by step, you will learn the all the letters of the alphabet. So, but that will be the first page that I keep, because I threw that page away that we were messing with yesterday away. All right, now we're going on to V. And I'm trying to be consistent doing 3 squares on all of them. And you guys asked for this stream, so I don't want to be hearing no crap from the peanut gallery. Alright, one thing I would say is she has a little bit more backward angle on that downstroke. Now the V, it seems much easier for me to pull up on the upstroke. You've trained your brain to spin, and I'm not going to train it for anything else. Okay, well, if that's the way it goes, that's the way it goes. I thought we were not spending, Eileen. Or is that already out the window? I know I'm not. I paid bills last night. Crap. December was a very expensive month. Not that I bought a lot of stuff. I really didn't. But just December is an expensive month. You pay property taxes. You pay for airline tickets to Australia and medicine. And yeah, December is an expensive month. And Christmas. Checks to everybody. Yeah, it's an expensive month. So I won't have any trouble sticking to our no-spend January, Eileen. You did spend a day you had to go get medicine? Yeah. Hi, Kia. With any luck, I'm not leaving the house today. Not going anywhere. I'm sorry. I'm going to pull this camera back a little bit this way. Maybe you guys will be able to see a little better. And still be comfortable for me. Because this is one thing, I've got to keep it comfortable for me. I guess for my first attempt at V's, those aren't horrible. W is a little bit different. Okay, so Eileen, what I want to know is you bought the book. You just bought the book for eye candy then? You really don't intend to use it? I mean, I have a lot of books. I didn't pull up on that last one. That I bought with, the best of intentions to do the exercises and whatever in it, and have never done it. This one, I want to do the exercises. I want to learn it. I really do. Oops, I forgot on that one. You guys just look at the pictures? Oh, you did the leaves and the label thingy last night. Sweet. Thank you, Paula. I mean, really, it's one thing when you're doing it, and I'm guilty of just like anybody else, is when you're learning something new like this, don't be too hard on yourself. I know that this is my first day of doing these practices. I've tried it here and there. But this is really my first day of practice. So I'm not going to be too hard on myself. I'm just going to try and be diligent about learning that push on the downstroke, let up on the upstroke. Down, up. And W is actually a pretty good letter because there's different heights to the strokes and a lot of up and down where you really have to remember that. And I'm not making the transition early enough. Is that I recognize completely. So that's something I tell myself, you've got to work on that. Your transition should be at about 1 o'clock or about, I don't know, I guess 5 o'clock. You're just going to skip the letters and do the fancy things? Okay, well, cool. I mean, I probably could go ahead and jump in and copy a project and make it look somewhat acceptable, kind of like that happiness yesterday. But I know deep down that is not right. I mean, the lettering is crappy. It's very colorful and pretty, but that happened because we were talking about gelatos. Okay, Kia, I'm using a Tombow. They're selling these individually. I think they're designed a little bit differently now. I don't remember, but I'm just using an old Tombow marker, brush marker, and it seems to be working pretty good. I initially started out with, I don't have my favorite out here. All right, I'll just use the Kiritaki that I said that I liked. Yeah. Let's go ahead and try a W with this brush and see. But I know you have more control with the marker. So as much as I want to use the paintbrush and get proficient at it, truth of the matter, I probably will get more benefit out of practicing with the marker. That's my feeling. Until I get kind of the stroke down. And then I'm not dealing with the variables of the paintbrush either. You know, you need more water, you know. But they're not horrible. So I don't know. One thing is you can definitely get a thicker downstroke with the paintbrush. So I think if I'm really going to create art with it, I'm going to definitely want to get better with the paintbrush. So then that creates another dilemma for me. Would I be more would it be more benefit for me just to be doing the practice with the paintbrush? If that's what I know for a fact I'm going to want to use in my finished products. And the brush definitely makes it look more fun, I think. But I think most of these people who have done these projects in these books, I think they're using markers. They're not using an actual brush because they're the strokes look too perfect. And I'm not sure that you can consistently do that in real life, Paula. Not too much different. I mean, did I say hi, Ange? If I didn't, hi. So, I don't know. I think it's almost harder to give less pressure than more. I didn't say hi. I suck. I'm sorry. You find it hard to distinguish between the... Well, sitting here looking, I can see it. And maybe I'm not making the transition obvious enough. Those two are definitely better. But that's the tricky part, is I don't know. Maybe if I hold it up. If you hold it up, I can see them. And some of them I'm doing better than others, honestly. Did I tell everyone about the walrus? No. You had to be there, Ange. I swear I was getting such a kick out of that, though. I really was. And it probably is going to be beneficial to me to continue doing the down, heavy, up, light, down, heavy, up, light. Because that's really what this is all about. And then making that transition. But yeah, I didn't tell him about the walrus flopping around, trying to keep my arms, all my extremities crossed for Ange last night to get her computer working. And then Jeannie's husband piped in, and it went downhill from that. That is better right there, you know, where you can see heavy on the downstroke, light on the up, heavy, light, heavy. And I think I'm making the transition at a better place. Because that's what you want to do, is heavy, light, heavy, light. And if I didn't answer you, Karen, hi, by the way, this is a Tombow marker. Michaels is selling them in sets and individually now. It's just I'm assuming that that's felt, but I don't know. It's not a real brush, though. Listening to Ray's, oh, what Ray was saying. Yeah, I know you were there. Yeah, it was funny. It really was. Let's see. And then the next exercise they have you do. I'm just going through where if you guys want to start doing this, you can do it yourself. You have a lot of tombos? Sweet. Yeah, I do too. The next exercise was doing the curves. Okay, so you start and you press down heavy and then light on the upstroke, heavy on the round, okay? And oh, that one's bad. A lot of the work on this, honestly, the brush does for you. It's just you putting the correct amount of pressure on the brush. There, that one's probably my best one. The rest of them pretty much sucked. And I didn't have enough pressure on that downstroke. Just like anything else, even playing the piano, you gotta sit down and do your scales before you can write the words, right? Or play the song. He asked if you had a manual. I know about doing the walrus flop. I know. He sounds funny as hell. I think Ray and I might get along really well. And I'm just doing another one of these up and down ones because they're showing it in the book. But I think that probably is really good practice in learning that transition if you're going to do the brush lettering. I'm going to try the paintbrush again real quick with that circle one. I'll do purple this time. Maybe that's why I want to use the paintbrush, so I have all the pretty, pretty colors. Now that one was easy with the brush. It's really learning where to do the transition. He's giggling. He's very smart, and he has a cracked sense of humor. That's why I think Ray and I would get along great. If he wouldn't, like some people I'm afraid to joke with my sarcasm or whatever, because they're more sensitive and they'll get their feelings hurt, or, I don't know. But yeah, I like people who have a cracked sense of humor and who can see the idiocy of what I was talking about. I mean, it's idiotic to think about you flopping over to the couch to try and get up. It's idiocy. But that's the crap that cracks me up. All right, now she's starting with the curved letters, which would be an A where you come down, light. Okay, and I don't think she's lifting her pen when she's making these letters, so yeah, those are looking okay. I'm okay with those for a start. That's possible, Paula, but I honestly think it's more the calligraphy. And then paying very close attention that I'm making the transition from dark to light when I need to. But I really think it's probably more the calligraphy, because the Zentangle is more making the repetitive marks. But it's like any kind of drawing is honestly what I think is, transferring from your brain into your hand what you want it to look like. But yeah, I think every time you pick up a pencil or a pen and attempt something, you're improving your skills. Even though it's hard to measure, I just feel like you are. I like the brush. I really do. I'm going to probably practice more with the brush than I am the pen. I think I get better results from the pen, but the brush is a little bit harder to control. And the brush, it is harder to see the transitions. I will say that, unless I'm really, really careful. They look like first grader A's, but I'll get it. And I'm not being very careful when I'm ending it to go ahead and make that transition to the light stroke again. There, that one's better, making that last transition. This pen feels like it's getting a little dry. And ain't nobody got time for that. Need a stiffer water brush? Well, I don't know. See, I have one out at the couch. Let me go see that. But really, Gina, I think it's all in your own technique. I really do. I have more control with this one because the brush isn't so long. And this is a Kiritaki as well. See, the brush isn't as long. And this poor thing has been through the ringer, I promise you. My granddaughter just loved it. Oh my God, she loved that pen. I should have just let her take this one home. I said, take it and get out of here, you little freak. See, Eileen, you're not the only freak. I call everybody that. Or goofball or bonehead or, yeah. So don't go around feeling all special or nothing. Let me see, I want a piece. I do like, here we go, this will work. I do like cushion under my paper. I don't know why. But I always have at least 2 sheets of paper. Hi, Judy. I've been watching your tweetering this morning. Not going to comment, but I think you did the right thing. Okay. I'll leave my page of A's out here so I have something to compare to. Because my A's, they definitely need a lot of work. A lot of work. I'm going to try it with this. So heavy, and then real light, heavy, light. I like this brush so much because it's the one I use all the time. But yeah, it's still. And maybe I'm not pushing hard enough on that downstroke to get, you know, the full effect of the weight of this poor paintbrush. That one was bad. Don't look at that. It's harder to tell, I would say, with brush lettering when you have a problem than with calligraphy. Like calligraphy, if you don't make your letter shapes correct, it it screams out like a neon sign, like your letter shape sucks. With brush lettering, I don't think it does that. So maybe that's why I want to learn it. Yeah, it's definitely harder to make the uprights with this when you can't get a real fine point on it. Grab another color pen. Let's see what other one do I not mind using up. Because if I use up these pens, I'll have to beg Eileen to let me buy another color. Maybe she'll let me. Let's use that red. Is not going to work. Good. Here's a blue one. Let's just use it. So, okay, I saw something Jeannie wrote in caps back here, or switch watercolor brush size. Yeah, Jeannie, I mean, I think all of that. That's why the brushes, I said, there's so many variables with the brushes. That I think for practice, you're probably better off, frankly, using a brush pen. This one definitely is drying out. I'm going to have to try and fix it. Yeah, this pen sucks. Never mind. This one either needs some attention or something. I might have to buy some new pens, Eileen. I might. Or just use this brush pen, which is why I bought it. This one that was designed for it, this bad boy is going to work awesome, I think. Yep. That's probably what I ought to be doing, is just using this one. But you can see when I don't lift up the pen enough. You definitely can. That one I didn't. That's probably my favorite one I did right there. This one. Yeah, it's going to take practice, you guys. It really is. You just made broccoli and the cat gagged. Did you feed it to the cat or just the odor? Alright, well, I'll just use this one for a while, I guess. Alright, so the A's were not that successful. Let's try some O's. Plus, I'm trying to control the size, keep them between the baseline and the top line, so I'm making the transition at the right place. And keeping them a good O shape. They're getting smaller and smaller and going uphill. Like, probably what I ought to do is just like an entire page of nothing but O's. And that one is so bad. That's bad. Bad, bad, bad. Alright, I have to read chat real quick. Paula's talking about a ruler. A Westcott ruler. Oh, okay, you got the Westcott rolling ruler. It's not that hard, Paula. Go on YouTube and get some instructions. It's not hard at all to use. It looks very complicated, but it's not hard at all. I'm not sure if mine was Westcott or not, but they make good tools. I'm just doing some exercises to try and get myself to start doing the transition at the right place. Because I'm either not concentrating on that or I'm not getting it. I'm not lifting up enough, I don't think. Definitely got to learn that touch. Definitely. Do it and be one of the cool kids. Do what? Do what? That one felt better. Hey, look. Look what's on my paper. A little spider right there. Can you see him? He's just walking along. Hello, Spider One. Where'd you go? There you are. I don't know if I'm going to let you go outside, but I know I'm not going to let you stay in my house and make spider webs, because then I have to clean them up. Sorry, I just killed the spider. Don't call the Humane Society on me. He really just wants to go around here making spider webs in my house. We don't like that. He never knew what hit him. I promise you. I have sticky traps, Paula. I really do. They're all over behind the beds. They're everywhere. I do have them. If you live on the lake, you better get used to spiders. That's just it. You had better be used to spiders living on the lake, because they're everywhere. And no sooner do you kill them than they're back. All right, let's try a C. That's next in the book. I suppose I should be showing you. My O's are more round than they're showing. And they're starting their O's down further. Like they're starting their O's down there and then coming up here with that, which I didn't do. I don't know if it matters. It probably does. Those sticky traps are awesome, Paula. See, I still started that. You want this to become second nature, like when you sit down to write your name cursive. Really, that's what you're striving for. It just comes second nature. I'm not sure it ever will for me, but we're going to try. Next was C, and their C doesn't have a lot of curve in it, believe it or not. God, I hope Dee Dee doesn't watch this. Dee Dee, don't watch! Another thing with these, like when you're doing calligraphy and you have a hard nib, you make the letter in many different strokes. Where this one, it appears, I would rather do this with the C and then add that on top. That's my calligraphy training saying doing this backward curve does not feel right. So I'd rather push down, come up, and then add this. So those may be, you know, like little stroke things that I end up doing because I don't like the nib going backwards like that. It doesn't feel right. C is good though to get the light, heavy light. But yeah, these C's suck. Yeah, see, I'd rather do a calligraphy style C. Wash my mouth out. What did I say? I might have. Sometimes it slips out. Yeah, it just slips out. But I'm not doing good on this C. Creating a C means starting the same way but stopping shortly after you start your upstroke. This one can actually be a little tricky. Sometimes I have trouble releasing pressure soon enough on my upstroke and my line is thicker than I want it to be. I get that. Because, yeah, this one it's a little tricky. But when you know that, those are the ones you have to work on until it feels right, right? Shut the door? No, shut the door, shut the door. That's funny because that makes me think of my granddad. They lived here in Oklahoma, and in the summer it's so flippin' hot down here. And of course, as kids, we'd be running in and out of his house, right? And he was always yelling at us, shut the door, or the refrigerator. You know, we'd stand at the refrigerator and he'd say, shut that refrigerator door, shut that refrigerator door. And I don't know if it was me or my brother, probably my brother. And I think my grandmother actually had a movie of it. I don't know what happened to it. Where one of us is running around the table in the kitchen saying, shut the door. That's all Granddad says is shut the door. Because he was forever yelling at us, shut the door, shut the door. Yeah, the C's going to take. That last one is probably, well, that's not as light as it should have been, but that's probably my most perfect C yet. That one was a good one. So you can tell when they're right. I mean, it just feels, you can feel it when it's right, I think, yes. But I'm not pushing down soon enough. Because it really is kind of a transition. Oh, now I like that one because I really pushed. All right, there. Now that felt good. It is a much nicer day here, I have to say. We're up to 40 degrees. Can you believe it? We haven't been in 40 degrees since way before Christmas. So I probably need to go outside and pick up stuff out in the yard because I don't want the rat to have to do it. Alright, next one is G and Q, which are pretty much the same. Alright, I'm going to write it with pencil first. Sometimes I do that. I'll use the, make sure I can just even make a good shape. Okay, that's how they make the G. Alright, let's try it with a brush. Writing with a brush, you almost feel like, oh my gosh, I've never written before. It is coming more naturally, though, I have to say, even after just this much practice, to do the easing up on the upstroke. It is becoming where I don't have to think about it so much. That one I didn't lift up enough, so... I don't know what the brush did on that one, but that was crazy. It's feeling better. It really is. And I'm trying not to grab this pencil and squeeze it till it dies, too. And this is just the practicing the letters. Keep in mind that after I get this kind of stuff down, then you've got to start working on the composition and spacing between letters. And this is only a part of it. But I think it'll... Oh, I definitely didn't lift on that one. See, I'm already anticipating down the road and goofing up what I'm doing here. Yeah, this is definitely feeling better. Alright, Q should be pretty easy too then. I'm going to do it with a pencil. That seemed to help me kind of get the shapes into my pea-sized brain. Oops. Well, that one's fine, I guess. That one is, I think this one is awesome. Right there. That's my best one. Right there. Does it count as in training my brain when you watch? No. Because when you pick up the pen, you're going to go, holy crap. That doesn't look like what she did. Nope. Sorry, it doesn't. You have to do the work, man. You have to do the work. You have an idea for a zine? I haven't even thought about doing a zine swap. I've had a couple ideas for zines, though, that I think would be hysterical. But, you know, it's like everything else. You've got to figure out how much time you've got in a day, you know? But, yeah, I've got an idea for a zine. Why all of a sudden does this cue just feel like it's working absolutely perfectly? I think my brain figured something out. Here comes the rat. The cues are feeling a lot better, you guys. It better be a brush lettering zine. Ooh, making cloud with ink pens. Yay, you, Kia. Yeah, I don't know. I love doing zine swaps. I really do. I like doing the zine. I like the planning. I like everything about it. That cue was perfect. It's almost like something just clicked. I don't get cared. I definitely don't want to do it while the scavenger hunt is going on. Q is for quit, and that's why it's great. You want me to quit? I know what you want me to do, Eileen, is get out the magicals, and that's not happening because I got other stuff I want to do today that do not include cleaning up a big fat freaking mess. Eileen is not liking the topic of today's show, I can tell. Get out something and work on it while I'm doing this. Because now that I've decided I'm doing it, I'm going to make myself practice. So you guys can see. That's so damn boring, I don't care if I ever learn it. Right? There's GQ. Some other letters she's saying to practice is I, And I guess you do the thick downstroke for the dot. So I have to say, just this, I don't know how long I've been on, but just this couple of hours of practice that I've done, I'm thinking differently, and I feel like my hand is responding differently. So I think if I'm diligent about doing my practice this week, I will definitely see improvement. And Paula, you've probably learned that in just working with your watercolors, right? That it didn't take long before you could notice a difference in your ability to control them. So, yeah, I'm excited. And I'm going to start doing it in my beast regardless of how bad it looks. And I may not have room in my beast. I was thinking if I would even just do the quotes that I'm putting out there for Eileen every day. But it's definitely feeling more natural already. So it didn't take long to get the hang of the pressure, especially on this eye. This is feeling awesome. Of course, I is an easy letter. We talked about, okay, Q is for quit, and that's why it's great. Q stands for queen. Yep, I am. Q is for quiet. There you go, Paula. I think, and this is true in calligraphy too, Paula, and I'm sure we did when we learned script or cursive writing as children, that they taught us in a certain order because of the repetitive motion of your hand. That would be my guess, because I do remember, as a kid learning, like E and L. Plus, I'm sure when you're a kid, they teach you in some order where you start feeling proficient quickly. And they save the curved letters for last, would be my guess. Or the more complicated, like K and stuff like that. Single stroke letters are obviously easier. E was not one of the letters that they have next, but I was just doing that while I was talking to you, that, an E is, especially in brush lettering, it is the perfect stroke because you're going light on the up, heavy on the down. So you start seeing results really quickly, and that encourages you to do more, would be my guess, especially in school. Because L's the same way. That's just what I think. Yeah, cleaning does suck. I got to do some of that. Y'all know, you love to practice L's? Well, see, Paula, that's what I just did. And for brush lettering, I think that's awesome. Same with the I. It is the two strokes that you probably need to learn the most. The light on the upstroke, heavy on the downstroke. And I may not be light-handed enough, because that one, see this one where I did a real light, and then a real heavy. That's awesome looking. I love that. And that honestly is just practice, learning to barely get that pen on the paper. Sometimes I think it would be easier to draw with a pencil. You know, like that cheater brush lettering that they showed earlier, where you make the basic stroke and then you darken one edge of it. You want the perfect letter, that's the way to do it, is hand draw it, the cheater style. But I don't want to do that. Alright, the next one was, I did A, C, G, Q. Okay, I, T, X was the other one. I did I. Okay, and they show the horizontal rule on the T with a very, very light touch. So I'm going to have to learn to really lighten up on my upstroke. Barely getting it down on the page. It's harder to do than you think, you guys. Get out a brush and try it. It really is. Barely get that brush nib on the paper. Thank you, Judy. Sometimes you want to wink with the other eye. Hi, Jimmy. You're so damn funny. Yeah, I don't think it's cheating, Judy. I think you can go back and repair, and that is not cheating at all, especially when you're learning. I think that means you're recognizing that something about it is just not exactly right, but going back and fixing it, especially on a piece of finished art, that is not cheating at all. But the only thing is, I think you have to be careful doing that, because sometimes your repair can be worse than the original error to begin with. So the T's are looking pretty good. If I can get lighter on the upstroke. And then I think down the road you can start stylizing what you've learned. See, for example, that one where I left some space. That would be something stylized that you could work at as your style, because you will create your own style as you do this. Mine's not going to look like Dee Dee's or like the girl on the video. I will definitely have my own style. I hope it's not a style full of errors. Know what I mean, Jelly Bean? That one got a little fat. That's a fatso. Hi, Janice. Okay, and the other one was X. And the X is very much like a cursive X, where you go up and then press down. Well, they don't have that. And then they showed this as an upstroke rather than a downstroke. Well, that's going to be weird. Yeah, the X is going to be a a weird letter, I think, because they really do show that as an upstroke, lightweight upstroke. Yeah, I will still do it from the top down. It just feels more natural to me. So that's probably cheating, but, and it may be jacking with my brain. Oh my God, we don't need to be jacking with my brain. Yeah, I think I'll definitely, because going up from the bottom doesn't feel right. Yep, just doesn't feel right. That does, so I don't know. Guess we'll just see. ACOQP, got them. All right, let's see where we go next. How long have I been on? Been taping an hour and 35 minutes. I'll stay on for a little while longer. And then next ones are the brush lettering Loopy letters. And so she has you do some real basic exercises of the up and down again, which probably doesn't hurt to do, you know, as you're going along. Making them real consistent. I'm going to try the Tombow pen again because this brush, it's doing some funky things. I do like that brush though. I like it a lot. Oh, this is a Statler. Let's see how this does. Heavy, light. Oh. See, each pen is going to do different. I'm not sure I recommend these pens, frankly, because they lift off too early. So that I don't think is a viable option unless I just need it for a specific color. Let's see what else we got. I'll pick an ugly color that I probably won't ever use up the ink in. And I have plenty of those, like olive green. Yeah. Yeah, that Statler pen I don't think worked well. Oh, this is going to be a nice pen. I think definitely the angle that you're holding your pen at is affects. But yeah, it's a lot easier with these Tombows. So this is what I'm going to tell you based on what I've been trying all different utensils and whatever. I would say if this is something you want to do, you might want to invest in a couple of the Tombow. I think it eliminates some of the variables, and until you learn the strokes, and this is going to be the rule that I adhere to from now on. I will do all my practice, I think, with a Tombow. And then just for playing later, I might use a brush pen. But I think for practice, just to get my brain trained, I'm going to use the Tombow because it works well. Alright, and then she did another row of the up and down, the L's again, Light on the up, heavy on the down. And then pay attention to where you make the transition. So a whole page of these would, in my opinion, be beneficial until you feel like you've really got to feel. See, those are getting really nice now, I think. And this is one where if I feel like I goofed up, go back and fix it. Yeah, these are definitely getting better. Well, maybe that's a good thing too, is use a brush and have all your lettering look like crap, and then get a Tombow out, and all of a sudden what you do looks really good because you actually have learned about the transition and the light and the heavy hand. Because now I'm feeling like, damn, I must have learned something because these are looking good. And the only change is the tool. So there you go. Hi, Christy. All right, and then she moves on to an H. And I'll do it with a pencil first. And maybe I should have been doing this all along, is do it with a pencil first. Just so I kind of get a feel for the shape of the letter. Start at your baseline. Go up, make the loop. Come straight down. Okay, that's kind of the shape that she draws the H. Oops, didn't push. Goofed that one up terribly. They're not looking horrible. Definitely could use practice, but they're not looking horrible. Not making the transition right at the correct time, but I'll get it. You can definitely tell when you lose concentration. Hi, Jennifer. Oops, almost dropped the book. I'm boring Eileen to death, Jennifer, but I'm learning something, so try and ignore the whining. That one is, I think, my most perfect one. It felt right. I felt like I wasn't struggling. That one's perfect. The more perfect ones I can get, the better off. That one's good too. So I would say this is paying off. Might have spoke too soon. You're shopping. Eileen. Use what you've got. Hashtag. You cannot be shopping. So the H's are kind of all over the place, but I got, are the new Tombow different? I don't think so, Eileen. I think their barrels look different, but I don't think the nibs, I tried a couple at Michael's the other day. I don't think the actual pen or the construction or the nib itself, I don't think they're any different. But they might appear different. They're still good pens. Alright, the next one, after you've gotten a feel for the H, it's not too much different to write a B. Once again, you'll create a loop, then a compound curve, but instead of curving back up at the end, you'll wrap the tail around the opposite direction. Well, that's easy enough. And I'll write it with a pencil first, because we're going to start out exactly like the H. It's not like the cursive B, which would be like that. Alright, so let's see if we can do this. Light on the up, heavy on the down. Light on the up, heavy on the down. Alright, it almost looks like the H, frankly. Okay. Okay, I like that B the best. What are you shopping for, Eileen? Uh-oh, don't take off management. There'll be more rules. Isn't this use what you got? Exactly, Karen. Okay, she's looking at videos that she can watch on Prime. Okay, we're going to cut her some slack for a few moments. But I wouldn't be surprised if her cursor doesn't go over and look at something so she can enable us all. Okay. I'm not doing that curve there at the end exactly right. But that's okay, we'll get it. Alright, I'm liking the B okay. Has anyone got CBS all access? No, I have not. I'm not sure that there's anything on CBS I'd watch anyway, but I don't know. Your Amazon has coupons for Tombows? Or cheaper at Mike's or on Amazon? I don't know, Paula. I would think that if you buy the set at Amazon with a coupon, you're going to get the best price per unit, because normally pens in a set are going to be cheaper than individually, because the individual pens at Michael's were $3 something, but I don't remember $3 what. But they were over $3 a pen, which to me is a little pricey when I used to buy them for $1.50. Just saying. Can you guys see? Oops. That's all right. I'll use it anyway. It definitely is coming easier, you guys. I'm not having to think quite so much. Maybe they're not as accurate and I need to go back and check that, but you want to watch Ransom. I haven't even heard about Ransom. What's Ransom, Eileen? Okay. Yeah, I'm feeling like I'm getting a little bit more proficient. It looks great. Okay, so it's a CBS show. All right, that's why I've never heard of it. I don't, as a rule, I do not watch mainstream television. All right, next one is a K. It's almost like the B. All right, so you start with the upstroke, heavy downstroke, loop here, and then I'm not sure I like that. Yeah, I'm not crazy about this K. Definitely different than I normally write a K. That's why I'm practicing it several times. Let's just try it with the pen. But yeah, this is definitely a different kind of K. But we'll give it a go. We will give it a go. Hmm. Hmm. don't know. I'm not liking that K at all. It just doesn't feel normal. Alright, I'm going to do it more like I do my own cursive Ks with a little bit of their style thrown in. Yeah, the K is going to take me a while, I think. That's definitely bad. That one was better. Why am I struggling with this one so hard? And I'm not thinking right. Alright, I think my brain has had enough of this today. Because, alright, light upstroke, heavy downstroke. Light, heavy, heavy, light. Okay. Alright, what are you shopping for now, Paula? So the question is, do I want them now or later? You know, Paula, oh, I don't even know if you're talking about the pens or what you're talking about. Honestly, I'd use your watercolors because you're getting so good at that. You probably have far more brush control than I do. Yeah, the K is definitely going to be tricky. I'm going to have to work with this one a while. And I feel like I've broken down this nib now, probably out of my frustration. Yeah, because boy, when I pull that toward me, I get a fat brush. Alright, K, I definitely need more work. And I haven't done an R yet. I just put more over there. More. I definitely need more work on that, but I'll come back to it. Now they're doing the E, and they don't do an E like from baseline to baseline, like I was showing you earlier. They actually start the E up and do more like a calligraphy E, like this. That's the best E so far. So I don't know who else is planning on learning brush lettering. I like learning new stuff, so I'm good with this. You make straight lines, not curves? Okay. Well, maybe it's time to start the curves, Paula. And you don't have to go to work at all today, Paula. Lucky you. Nap time. I am going to get some stuff done around here today before I let myself do anything else. And if I'm really good and I get all my stuff done, I'm going to work on the scavenger hunt page because I want to get that ransom note done. And maybe early on what I ought to be doing is really exaggerating. I really feel like I have crushed this nib now, where it's not giving me the real light and darks. So I may have crushed it in my frustration with the K. So anyway, the next one after E is F. And it's very much like a cursive F. Just up, curve down. Yep, pretty much just like a cursive F. Yep, that one's going to be pretty easy. Because it is very much just cursive. Except for the light upstroke, heavy, light. Yeah, the F's going to be okay. I'll be able to get that one really easy. That one would be a good one if you're just practicing, because you do have to make the transition twice to heavy and then back to light. Yeah, this pen is... I think I crushed the nib. Anne says, hello, you've been ignoring me. Hi, Jennifer. I was feeling left out. Not. I'm fine. And you? What's Paula getting? Oh, I hope you feel better, Jennifer. I have bad back. And believe me, it's not fun. When it gets a catch or something in it, OMG, it's horrible. I hate it. Alright, here's all my pages. The only other letter that they showed before they go into something different, I'll go ahead and finish it, is the D. So I'm going to put that away, and I'll get my brush back out just because I can. Let's see, I'll use the Kuretake because I like that one. And this may be how I practice. I jump around from pen to brush to pen, and really never get proficient at everything. At anything. Alright, D starts like the A. So you want heavy on the downstroke, up. Now the weird thing is, look how they do the D. And this is, they must do it in 2 strokes. She doesn't show it as 2 strokes. But to get that loop, I'm thinking they're doing that in 2 strokes. I really am, because I guess unless you just went up straight. Let's give it a try. But yeah, that D is, the final upward loop is D. It's different from the rest because rather than beginning with a loop, it comes at the end. Again, it's composed of 2 parts you already know. Okay, so yeah, you can lift your pen up on this one. Okay, so you do your A, and then I don't know if they have you. I'm going to have to watch a video on this. If you do the loop and then do the D downstroke. That may be the easiest way to do it. Do your A like you would normally. And then up from the top of your A a little bit, make your loop. That may be the easiest way to do it. Yep, I'm thinking that's how they want you to do that, which is kind of weird, but effective, so who cares? Made a really pretty D, so I'm cool with that. Yep, makes a real pretty D. Yep, that's the way I'm going to make it, because it's effective and it looks really pretty. So on letters like that, I mean, I would definitely be going on the internet and seeing, you know, what other people who do excellent brush lettering do on something like this. But yeah, that feels okay. I like that okay. When you're saying Arthur, Jennifer, are you talking about arthritis? Now this one I really love using the brush for. I don't know. I may just make myself use the brush. This will be my brush pen though, because this Kuretake, the bristles are very nice. You can make very, very thins and very thick. So this will be my brush lettering pen or brush, I'm thinking. And I can't crush it, so because I think that pen, I really did crush it. I'm pretty sure. I'm going to try the D with the pen, but I'm almost sure. Yeah, see, I don't know. Yep, I'm using the brush. That's it. Made up my mind. Hi, Mindy. You don't know how you're going to do this after 5 minutes. You want to do something else? See, I could sit and do this crap all day long. I mean, I could literally sit here the rest of the day and do nothing but this and make judgments about how I've done. But I really don't, I would say if you're interested in doing it, don't do it too long, really. When, like right now, my back's starting to bug, I've done all this. I would say for today, until I do an hour or two break now, I'm not going to gain anything, really. at this point, all I'm doing is aggravating my back and bugging myself. So if you watch this on YouTube, thanks for watching. If you want to learn brush lettering, this is what it's all about. It's what you got to do. I won't be doing a whole lot of this on stream, I can tell, because Eileen is going cuckoo already. So, but thanks for watching.